Okay, welcome to Tackle Trading's video series. This is Coach T from TackleTrading.com, and today I wanna do a video for my beginners out there, and really focus on sending a message to you if you're brand new at this and you don't know where to get started. And I want to give you some direction and some advice. And I'm calling this video "Developing as a Trader: Routines, Discipline, and Expectations." By the way, probably if you're watching this video, you're a member at Tackle Trading. If you're not, get over there and subscribe and push pause and just get in the game and become a part of our team. We got a great team from all over this world of traders and those that are experienced and in the middle and beginners as well. But this one is for you new traders out there. Let's start with a couple of things. Your first job as a new trader is simply to take a deep breath and focus and come up with a plan on how you're going to become great. Okay, your first job is not to go out and start to trade. You do not need to trade today. You're not ready for it. There's a lot of education that goes in, and that's the whole point. So take a deep breath and relax and start to focus on what your plan is going to be. Now let's talk about expectations first. Okay. What traders do and what traders try to do is we try to make more money than what the market says you can. That's the goal. Okay, you're going to have one of several different goals. You're going to have daily goals, and that's money goals, monthly goals, and annual goals. By the way, most annual goals are on income that you're going to pay yourself. You know, salary to you as the trader. Monthly goals are usually going to be somewhere as a percentage return from your account. Okay, your daily goals are going to be, profit goals, daily profit targets for day traders, and that's if you're day trading. But this all presupposes that you're ready to trade. See, the expectation is not to go out and start to achieve these right away. That's just not how it works. You can't do that right away. If you don't have proper routines and discipline yet, you have to become educated to get there. But you do need to understand what you're trying to accomplish. You're trying to accomplish, greatness. You want to build a business. If you're not in this to become great at something, then you're probably in the wrong field. Go watch a cat video on YouTube. There's about 1 million of them, I'm sure. You can go do something else with your time. We work with people who want to be great. That's it. Simple. If you don't have that mindset for yourself, we need to improve your self-image. It's okay if you're not there yet, but I do and I will expect you to have a high standard of excellence for what you do. That is very important. We will be setting these goals. Now, a daily goal for profit could be based on how much capital you have and what product you trade and all that kind of stuff. Maybe try to make $500 a day or $5,000 a day. I don't know. Maybe it's $50 a day when you're new. You're not ready for it yet. If you haven't proven that you are a good trader, you don't risk anything yet, and we'll get back to that expectation part. Monthly goals. Most conservative cash flow traders, my mentor has taught me, over at the Trading Justice podcast, we just did an interview recently with my mentor, Micah Brooks, and he said, most traders try to target 3 to 5% a month. Okay. And you might be thinking, well, Wall Street tells me that we can only make 7 or 8% a year in a good year. Well, we're not Wall Street. We're traders. We're trying to do better. And we're trying to be in the top % of people in this world. We're not just trying to be average. We're not trying to be in the median or in the middle. We're trying to do something that it excels. Okay, so remember that. And I will tell you this. If you can build the ability to make 3 to 5% a month from your trading, you can change your life. You can change the way you think about money. You can change everything you're doing. So that is a big goal. And then the annual goal, remember, you will be running this as a trading business, and you have to pay yourself in salary. I do recommend you structure as a business. I work with some good firms that can help you do that, depending on where you live and what all of your details are in your life. That might look like a certain corporation, might be an LLC, all that kind of stuff. You're going to have to talk to a lawyer. Go to our partners page at Tackle Trading and click on the Anderson Law Group, and they are a good group there for you to check out. But that is later. That's what you expect to get once you've arrived. Okay, So expectations generally is what people want to rush out and start achieving. So they start trading. Some people jump into the market. It's a mistake. Okay, think about what happens if you jump into the market today when you're new. Okay, you can only make money, lose money, or break even. If you make money in the market and you're brand new, well, you probably think you know what you're doing, and you don't. It's going to give you a false sense of accomplishment. It's going to make you feel like, well, I can just keep achieving this. I've seen this before, guys. I've been a mentor for 11 years. I've worked with thousands and thousands of traders. People who rush out into the market before they're ready, if they make money, it's actually one of the worst things that can happen, because then they don't put the time into developing proper skill sets that will last for generations. If you can last the first year of trading and get past it and then achieve, you'll be a trader for life. Okay, most traders fail within their first year, and those are facts. Those are statistics. So if you can get past the first year and just let the first year be kind of a phase where you grow and learn and get great, that's the expectation I would have. So spend the next year becoming trained, disciplined, and all that kind of stuff. Discipline. Let's talk about this for a minute. To reach your expectations, you absolutely must, and we're working backwards on this a little bit here, to reach your expectation, you absolutely must have discipline. That discipline first starts with money management. Okay, money management. Big dollar sign, management. Money management essentially means this, is that over time, you expect to make money, but no trader makes money every day. Okay. Yes, we absolutely believe that we're going to make profit over time. That's what a good trading system and investing plan comes down to. And over time, you want to make money. How much money? Well, it depends on what your business plan is, what strategies you use, what risk you take. Obviously, the more reward you go for, the more risk you take. Traders that try to double their account in a month, essentially, they're probably taking too much risk. There are certain things that you can and can't do consistently. And the reality is, to try to push the profit envelope too fast, too far, just because you're new, is a mistake. Remember that. Okay? Just relax. Realize there's more money out there if you do it the right way. Have a slow roll. You're trying to scale this thing up. Profit over time. Everything about this is going to be built into your business design and everything that you're working on. You are going to have drawdowns. That profit does not go straight up. Okay? And you're going to have losers. You're going to have losing weeks. You're going to have losing days. You're going to have losses. Part of the reason why I prefer, and this is where one of Tim's maxims right now, I prefer education first. Testing, well, actually, I will say this. Design, second. Testing, third. Then paper trading, fourth. Then live trading, fifth. And then review and adjust. I mean, that is really what you do with trading systems right there. You know, step by step by step. Education is first, design second, testing third, paper trading fourth, live trading fifth, and then you review and adjust. One of the mistakes people make is they jump into live fourth or fifth step before they do anything else. I mean, it's like they don't become educated. They don't really spend the time to learn about what the market is, and then they wonder why they failed, you know. So education first, design second, testing third, paper trading fourth, live trading fifth, and then review and adjust. That's sixth. And I'm going to put sixth down here. Okay. And it's all that start with why stuff that we've done before. But remember, and this is where I just want to set your expectations for you. Because if you have improper expectation, okay, so now discipline. You know, the reality is that you have to have money management discipline. You have to have position sizing discipline. If your account ever has too big of a drawdown because you didn't learn about money management, you're putting your account at risk. Okay, and you're not ready to trade. That's where design comes in. That discipline part is in the design and the testing. There are certain things like drawdown numbers and how much risk you're taking per trade and position sizing that have to be designed and tested properly. There's some work that goes into that. You know, when you're new, that's where education, that's why we always say education first. Guys, we don't say education first just because we're mean and we want you to have to go study. We just know that it actually, to become good at something, you got to take it serious and do it the right way. So you take the classes first and you learn how things work as you design and test, and then paper trade, then live trade, and then you're running, you know, review and adjustments over time. That's the process of developing a system. So now we get down to the real thing, the action item for the day, and that is your routine. Okay, your routine. If you're a trader, let's go back to our goals. If you have daily goals, you have to trade every day. Write that down. If you have monthly goals, you might only need to trade once or twice a week. Okay? If you have just annual goals, you know, you may trade every day, you might trade every week. I will tell you this. I trade every day because I'm a trader. I believe if you're a trader, you have the expectation to engage the market when you're running your business. Now, which systems you run, that's way down the road. What strategies you use, way down the road. What stocks you trade, way down the road. Okay? But you first have to identify whether or not you can do this every day or not. Working with professional people, I will tell you one of the biggest challenges people have in this world is simply that they are not organized with their time. And it's not necessarily their fault. We haven't been taught how to do this, you know. And then life becomes overwhelming. You're thrust into a job, and then you got kids, and now you're running a household as well. Then you got to pay taxes, and you got all these things going on, and you're like, holy cow, where did my time go? If you want to be a trader, my recommendation, very simple one, is to get your calendar and literally schedule it in. Schedule your priority. Don't just assume you're going to do it. It takes 21 days to create a habit. Now, on a daily basis, your routine, there's a bunch of stuff we do at Tackle Trading. There's all kinds of things, but I'll just show you one of mine, you know, and I'll tell you, let's take a look here. Put in the word routine, by the way, quick pro tip on this. If you put in the word routine and just search at Tackle Trading, you're going to find probably hours and hours and hours of content that can help you. Okay, literally you could spend a full week going through this. But my routine is like this, and I'll show you my calendar. Okay, this is what I do. I start with the news. Okay, now on a daily basis, these are the two websites I use: briefing.com, investing.com. It gets me the news really quick. I know how to look for it. I know what I'm looking for. Then I do market analysis. Market analysis at tackletrading.com. I go through the very specific symbols that matter. If you're new, what that means is that you need to go into what they call the trade center. Okay, so over at Tackle Trading, you click on Tools, and then Trade Center, and literally start with the heat map. Learn about the heat map. Learn every tool in this trade center. This will help you with your routine. Learn about the heat map. You know, read it every day. Learn about the futures. Look at the certain products. In the futures market, I look at the S&P 500. Okay, so I click on futures. Here's the S&P 500. I always look at the volatility index. Okay, and what volatility is doing. I look at crude oil right here. Crude oil and whether it's going up or down. I look at gold, and then I look at the US dollar. But if you're brand new, and that's who I'm talking to today, just look at the S&P 500 every day. Look at the heat map, the S&P, and make a commitment to learning the other stuff as you go. You don't need to be doing cross-market analysis between different products. You're new. It's okay. You don't try to do something you're not ready for. You know, you don't start skiing by going to the Black Diamond, right? You know, you start with just learning how to get the right gear and get to the slopes. Start with just looking at the S&P 500 and the heat map. I would say those two things. And then the next one that we do, let's go back to that calendar item, is then we do trade management, trade entry, journal and review. But really, guys, I want you to think about this. If you're not ready for that yet, if you're not actually trading yet, 3, 4, and 5 probably aren't in your daily routine. In your first month, just do those first two. Okay, and then number 6, news, market analysis, and then continued education. Okay, so let's go write that down in a Paint program. News, market analysis, and that is the heat map, okay, and the futures, and I'm just going to put down S&P 500, and then 3, continued education. That's it. That's what I want you doing every day in your first week, in your second week. And remember, this needs to be scheduled. Schedule it in. Schedule your daily activities into your calendar. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you're having a hard time with discipline, you're just not organized enough, and you need to make a commitment to changing that, and maybe try some things different, take some different approaches and steps to accomplishing what you need. The details of how do I read the news, Tim, or I'm confused. Don't worry about that. That's okay. That's the whole part of the learning curve. Of course, you'll be confused when you're brand new. Or, Tim, I don't know what to look at on the S&P. I don't care. I don't care. You will get that part, okay? You'll develop from the education. You take Master Trader, you're gonna have more education than you can shake a stick at. That's not gonna be an issue. You take that one step at a time. The learning, the actual processing, having it all sink in, that's just the part of developing, developing as a trader. And that's really what we've been talking about here today. Developing as a trader, routines, discipline, expectations. And one final thought from Coach T at Tackle Trading. Always approach life and approach this new opportunity you have with excitement, with energy, and take it seriously. If you want to do something, you can. If you want to accomplish, you can. It might not be instantly, but you're getting into a very good field, and you're starting a process. And by the way, if you are one of my more experienced traders out there and one of these things helped you, let me know. If you're new and it helped you, let me know. Put something in the comment section at the bottom. I would love to hear from you, because that's why I do these videos. Hopefully somebody's watching them out there and getting some value out of it. So take care, God bless, and we'll see you get in the game. See you on TackleTrading.com.
Get off the sidelines and take control of your financial future at www.TackleTrading.com. Get in the game.